Hey, it's your boy, the Bishop, and welcome to another episode of the Pulse of the People. I'm excited today because we're going to talk about something that everyone wants, everyone needs, everyone desires, but we want to make sure that we give you the tools that you can use in order to use it effective. We talking about money today, y'all. We talking about money. I know even in my era, we talking about making it rain. Well, guess what? I want to not only make sure that you know how to make it rain, but I want to make sure that you have enough to keep it raining in your life. And what better way to make it rain by knowing and understanding how well or how good or how awesome the currency that we call money is. And today I believe I have the best to speak to us about how to use our money as a tool. And he's going to get into all that, and we're going to talk about all that. First of all, I want to just say thank you for watching us on our multifaceted platforms, whether you're watching us on Facebook, whether you're watching us on Instagram, whether you're watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much. Make sure you follow on Facebook. Make sure you like us and follow us on Instagram. Make sure that you subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm telling you, New Kingdom TV is doing some magnificent things. Big shouts to my babies on the Pulse. You're doing a wonderful and magnanimous job. Let's get into it today with my guest, my man, Mr. James. I call him Mr. James, but he is Mr. James Hinton, CEO of Henson Enterprise.
Henson and Associates.
Henson and Associates. We talking about money today, y'all. So you might want to get your pen and paper because we going to talk about money. Mr. Henson, thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. I always give God all praise for being able to share with the people and empower the community about money. Because one of the biggest things that we learn is that money is a tool, like you were talking about. It drives everything. A lot of times people say, well, money isn't everything. I say, well, it's right there next to oxygen. Try living without it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Life would be hard without money. You know what I'm saying? Talk to a person that don't have money and talk to a person that does have money and see who has a better life. You understand what I'm saying? And so I'm thankful to be able to share today with the people about money, the rules of the money game, how money works, and things of that nature. Because one of the biggest things that we look at is that we're not taught about money. In our community, we're not taught about money. We're taught to work hard. We're taught to go to school and all these type things. But when it comes to that check and everything that we do, we're not taught about it. You know what I mean? And
wow.
So that's the one thing. I always like to start and tell a little bit about myself, how I
Sure.
got involved literally with finance. I went to Bowie State University on a football scholarship. Thought I was going to the league. But,
Go Bulldogs.
You know what I'm saying? You know it, right? And thought I was going to go to the league and all that type of stuff, but that didn't work out. So I was like, well, I need to get a major that's going to pay me money. I came out, majored in computer science, and went to work for the CIA, was making great money. But nobody ever talked to me about how to make this money work for me.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So I had money coming in, and I don't know if y'all remember, it was a show called MTV Cribs. Remember that?
Yep.
That was like the lifestyles of the rich and
Yeah.
famous. So whatever I saw them do, I'm like, well, I got money. Let's go do that. And so I found myself wasting my money, doing what I thought was what to do, take my money, put it in the bank, pay bills. But at the same time, there was the thing, back then we talked about, having a good time, VIP, you know what I'm saying? The lifestyle stuff that really does not benefit us. It benefits everyone else in the business world, but not myself, not my family. You know what I mean? And so understand that it was a day that I witnessed a layoff. Everybody thinks that you have that good job, right? But the thing was, on a Friday, I got a termination letter printed to my printer. And,
Wow.
Me and my wife had just had our son, and I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? It was like it was devastating to me because this was my way of earning money. Just like right now, 2020, how most people have been devastated by COVID. It was that dashboard moment. And so for 15 minutes, I thought I had lost my job. You know what I mean? Then HR said, hey, we made a mistake. That wasn't for you. But what I realized was that at any given time, my job could be taken, my income stream could be taken from me, and I would have literally nothing to show for it. I realized at that moment I was living paycheck to paycheck because what if that next check doesn't come? You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
We're so used to having that money come every single week, 2 weeks, or once a month, whenever it is. And my eyes were opened at that point. And so I'm thankful for the person that I went to. It was actually one of my business partners that got let go. And I asked him what he was going to do. He said, man, I'll be fine. Me and my wife, we have a business that's well. And I was like, what do you do? He said, I show people how to make more money, save more money, and get out of debt. And I said, man, can you come talk to me and my wife? Need all that, right? He came and he educated me on money, Eric. And I had never heard these concepts before, never seen them before. And I'm like, it just changed our life, And so literally, I was like, this is an amazing opportunity to go and share with people. But guess what? I didn't think I could do it. I was like, nah, it's not something that I can go and talk to people about. But I gave them referrals. And everybody I sent them to called me back and said, hey, man, thanks for sending them our way. We really needed the help. Are you going to, open an office with this guy? Because this is great information and you'd be great at it, right? And so I was like, maybe. A year later, 50 more people got let go on my job.
Wow.
At that point, I said, okay, God, I hear you loud and clear. I need to get a plan B in place just in case next time it's me. And so I got licensed, and I started to go out and teach people about money, and I fell in love with it. It was a passion. And in 2007, God spoke a vision to me and literally just said, hey, quit your job. This is what I want you to do, to go empower the people about their finances. And so 2007, I walked away from the job, opened a location in 2008. And you know what I'm saying? It's been amazing. Been in business now 15 years. I started in 2005. And it's been 15 years this year that I've been going out teaching people and empowering the community about how money works.
So question, what do you believe is one of the biggest misconceptions that even in the African-American community or those who live in disparities or even in impoverished situations, what do you think is the biggest misconception? If you could say, honestly, after being educated, one of the biggest misconceptions, if you could put your finger on one of the biggest misconceptions, what do you think that would be?
The biggest misconception of what I believe is that people don't believe in the stock market. They're like, oh, I don't know about that. And what that comes from is it comes from the lack of education. People think that people that have money are evil, they're mean, they're all this type of stuff. So it's like, if I get money, I don't want to be like that. But what people don't realize is that all money does is it brings out the person that you are. If you're a good person without money, when you get money, it's just going to make you a better person. It's a tool. But it's 3 reasons why people fail when it comes to their finances. The first one being they don't have the financial education, right? It's not taught in our community, right? The second being they don't have a financial plan. They don't have it's literally their plan is, I go to work, I get paid, I put my money in the bank, I pay my bills, and I have some fun, and then we do this all over again next week, right? You understand?
Cycle.
So, right, it's a cycle, right? And the third is they don't have a money coach. They don't have somebody holding them accountable to their goals and dreams of their finances. You understand? I mean, when we look at today, anything that we want to get better at, we get a coach. When you talk about your spiritual life, you have your spiritual advisor. When you want to now get in shape when it comes to your physical, you go get a personal trainer, or you join a gym and have somebody hold you accountable. All these things that we look for when you talk about relationships, you get counsel, somebody to hold you accountable with your relationship. But when it comes to finance, we think that I got to get right first before I go sit down with a professional. You can't fix you. You cannot fix you. You understand that?
You can't fix you. Make sure you hear that. You can't fix you.
Right.
You need a coach. Wow.
That's right.
So let me ask you a question. Let's go deeper into this thing, because we talk about miseducation. We talk about not being informed.
Correct.
We talk about the fear. Okay. So then when we look even in our communities, we see that a lot of our people are on some kind of assistance, whether it's temporary cash assistance. Understand the word I just said, temporary cash assistance. But temporary cash assistance, we're talking about food stamps, though they give it another name called SNAP.
Right.
But we see these different things, and we see that in our communities, we have different like corner stores and pop-up shop, mom and pop shops that people are going to feed themselves and all of those things. Can you educate us and our viewers on when they think they're going and they're paying less at a convenience store, they're actually paying more.
Correct.
The convenience store is profiting off of the lack of your intelligence.
Correct. Very true. So one of the biggest things that you look at, like you said, the pop-up stores, the 7-Elevens. I look at 7-Eleven as, I mean, that is one of the biggest things. And if you know better, you do better. Now, if you're on the assistance and things of that nature, the greatest thing to do is to stretch your money. You know what I'm saying? Not go with convenience. When you go with convenience comes with a fee. When you look at now, let's talk about DoorDash and your Uber Eats and all that. They're charging you a fee.
You young people, you need to listen to this.
To bring you your food, right?
Right.
Like you could go get this food before, but now because of convenience, we're now spending more money. And people will say, well, it's only $1. It's only $2. It's only $3. When you add that up, right? Because again, when you don't respect money, money does not respect you.
Say that again for the people in the back.
When you do not respect money, money does not respect you. So when you say it's only a penny, how many people walk past a penny and don't pick it up? 100 pennies is $1, right? But people will walk past pennies to pick up a quarter. But it could have been 100 pennies down there, but they'll go pick up the silver. You understand what I'm saying? That's not respecting the money. So therefore, when you go with convenience, you're now throwing more money out of the window that could stretch you longer. Where you look at a half a gallon of milk that may cost you $3, but you could go to the store or a grocery store and pay and get a full gallon. You know what I'm saying? For maybe $2.50. You understand? That's going to take you longer. And so again, when you have that convenience and that. And I hate to say it, I'm just going to be honest. The lazy mindset of let me just go right here because it's right here. You're going to pay in the long run. You understand?
Right.
You have to go and say, okay, if I'm on this temporary system, what I got to do is how can I make this work? Like back in the day, we made it work, but because of TV and we see all this stuff. Like I told you, with me it was the MTV Cribs, but now you see all this stuff of convenience. You can do this now from home, but they're charging you a fee. But back in the day, your great grandparents, they made it work, you know, with $5, and you know what I'm saying? They looked for ways to stretch that money. We don't look for that. Why? Because we're being, I'm just gonna say it, and enabled, because we know that money's gonna keep coming. So therefore, hey, I know on the first again, it's coming back in, so hey, I'll continue to do it. Whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Instead of saying, I don't know when this is coming, so I gotta make it stretch.
Like a lot of people right now, because I know the governor had a few press conferences about the fact that a lot of people in the state are having a delay in their unemployment benefits as well as their food stamp benefits. So there are a lot of people right now who wish they wouldn't have had that seafood bowl. Yeah, I just called you out.
Right.
They wish they wouldn't have had that seafood bowl 2 weeks ago because they said, well, look, I got food stamps. It's on me.
Right.
And they messed around and now they're stuck and their babies don't have nothing to eat because they did not manage their money well. Listen, Mr. James is killing the game right now. I want you, if you don't already have a pen and a pad, go get one because we're going to take a quick break. Go and get a pen and a pad. He dropping some knowledge here. Y'all need to listen. When we get back, we're going to talk about the preservation of money. We're going to talk about that paycheck to paycheck mentality. And then we're going to talk about how to use money as a tool. So do me a favor. Go get yourself something to drink. Go change the baby or do whatever you got to do. We'll be right back. It's the Pulse of the People, baby. We are back. Thank you for watching the Pulse of the People. I'm with my man, the money coach, the money. Listen, in my phone, his name is Mr. James, and then there's a bag. And I know all the young people talking about they get into the bag. This is the guy right here that can help you get to the bag. But not only get to the bag, but keep the bag getting bigger. Maybe he can help you get to, I ain't gonna say maybe, he can get you to get more than one bag.
That's right.
And so that's what we're going to talk about coming back. And so big thank you to all those who are watching. Make sure that you follow us on Facebook. Make sure that you like us and follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're talking about money today. We're talking about money. And so, Mr. James, we were talking about what I believe is important. We're talking about here now, we're talking about the preservation of money, but I really want to tie that in with that paycheck, because you said something that was very critical. Even in sharing your own story, you talked about seeing what other people have.
Right.
Because I was one of those ones in the MTV Crib era where I was one of the ones in the club standing on the chairs making it rain, until one day I slipped up and had a small epiphany that when I went to the store that sold spirits, and I brought that bottle of Hennessy, I realized I was paying $400 in the club and paying only $40 in the.
That's right.
Something clicked.
Correct.
I want us to park at that mentality, that paycheck to paycheck. I got it, so let me blow it. No preservation of money. We see that with a lot of our young people. We see that. We talked about before we even got on the show about we seeing these young people taking pictures and doing posts with the money on their ear.
Right. Right.
Let's talk about that, Mr. James. The money on the ear. And we've seen even as of late this week, a lot of the young rappers have perished. King Von and we've seen that this week. And so they have money to the ear.
Right.
But the question is, the money to the ear, is that money being preserved?
Right.
Did they leave money for their mamas and them?
Right.
Their homies that was on their payroll? Did they leave? So let's talk about that. That paycheck to paycheck, the preservation of money, the foolish, how we can get caught up in the foolishness of spending money just crazy. Right. Speak to that.
So the thing is my dad taught me as a young child, and he said to me, he said, son, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. And as a kid, I didn't really understand that, you know what I'm saying? Because here I am, I'm coming out of college, I'm making six figures, and my dad said to me, you don't make six figures, son. I said, what you mean? You know what I mean? I'm like, that's what my offer letter say. And I think, but what I came to realize was that even though that piece of paper said I was going to make that, on Friday, my check didn't say that.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, when you talk about the preservation, what I came to realize is that most people, we live paycheck to pay. It's not even paycheck to paycheck. It's paycheck to Monday. And I'm going to show you how it starts. It starts on Thursday. On Thursday, that's the pre-turn up, right? Because you know Friday's coming. So you got Thursday, so you go out a little bit, you get excited. Friday, you hitting the happy hour, you excited. That check hits, right? Now, mind you, what's going to happen on that? The check is already there, so what? Bills come out, okay? Then you got Saturday. That's you going to the mall, the shopping, all that type. Sunday come along. What I got left? Okay, I got $2. Let me put that in church. We ain't gonna get on tithing. We ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there. We'll go there on another segment, right? But I'm gonna give what I have left, and then guess what? Now the pit in my stomach starts to hurt because now I realize I gotta go back to work because I don't have no more money. And I got to do this cycle all over again because why? Because I blew my money for the temporary satisfaction. So there is no preservation. It's literally I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Listen, if you're paying your current month income bills with your current income, like literally if the money right now, this is November. If you're paying your November bills with November money, you live paycheck to paycheck.
Wow, say that again.
If you're paying November bills with November income, you live paycheck to paycheck. Most people don't realize that. They'll say, oh, I don't live paycheck to paycheck. Yes, you do. Because what happens is, what would you say? I'll pay my car note with my next check. I'll pay the rent, the mortgage with the next check. Insurance, next check, next check, next check. And we don't even realize we're saying it subconsciously, which says everything revolves around this check that I get.
So let me interject, and then I want you to keep going.
Go ahead.
When you say that, because that happens, what happens when life happens?
When life happens, because of not preparing for the emergency, again, with the miseducation, I was taught credit cards are for what? Emergencies.
Wow, speak on that thing.
Credit cards are for emergencies. No, they're not. Credit cards are for booking flights and renting cars, right? You understand what I'm saying? Get your points, learn how to use them, but it's not for debt, because what you're doing is spending money that you don't have, and now you're becoming a slave to that lender. You understand? So not preparing for emergencies, and an emergency says, hey, when an emergency comes, I have an emergency account, which is 3 to 6 months of my expenses. So therefore, if I get laid off, if the pandemic hits and we don't know when the next check is gonna come, 3 months could carry you a long way. Think about it. March the pandemic hit, right? March, April, May. right? So that's 3 months where, okay, I'm not really worried. So some things could kick in. Let's say if you had 6 months, right? March, April, May, June, July, August, right? Because I'm not worried about the expenses. But what happens is, because we don't have that, we go to that master and we start to slide it. Because why? Because we want things now. Right? We don't change up and say, oh, let me prepare. We go and we start to still have that, like you said, the lifestyle, because, hey, I can do it. I got this credit. But what we find ourselves getting into is the debt trap. And the debt trap is a trap to keep us broke. It's to keep us in bondage, right? I want everybody that's listening and watching, right, to close your eyes with me for just 1 second. Don't worry, I'm not going to do nothing crazy, but close your eyes and imagine your life debt-free. Okay, all right, everybody open your eyes.
Lord,
describe that feeling, because you went away. I mean, you was right here. Woo. You understand how that burden lifted off your chest?
It sure did.
And I didn't say you were a millionaire. I just said you didn't have any debt.
Debt-free. Wow.
Debt-free. Because you're no longer in bondage. But we don't realize that, because why? Those are the things that happen when what happens is we extend our buying power on a credit card.
Say that again.
We extend our buying power on a credit card. Wow. So we say, hey, let me go get this now. Instead of saying, well, let me save for it for 3 months. We want it now, so we go and we put it on a card that's going to charge us interest, which I'll get into that, where that interest is killing you. It's a thing called the Rule of 72, also known as the banker's rule, that is keeping people down, especially us, because we don't know the rules.
Can you say, and I'm sitting here while you said that, credit cards are free, but debt will keep you slave for a lifetime?
For a lifetime. For a lifetime.
They'll give you a credit card, Capital One. Lord,
What's in
mercy.
your pocket?
They'll give you a credit card, Capital One, and especially if you have no money literacy, you will think I'm balling out of control because they gave you a $500 limit. You thinking I got $500 in my pocket that so I can add to what I have in the bank or what you think you have, and you'll swipe, and when you get that. Lord have mercy.
You saying it?
When you get that first bill, you go wish what was in your pocket was ripped up.
Right.
And even if you cut it up, throw it in the trash can, guess what? They still want their money.
They coming every single month.
So when we talk about now, I want you to touch that, because you said something very pivotal. You said the banker's rule, the 72.
Rule of 72.
What does that entail?
So the rule of 72 tells you how long it takes your money to double based on the interest rate that you're earning on your money, okay? So if you were earning a 3% interest rate on your money would double every 24 years. 3 divided by 72, 24 years. At a 6%, it's going to double every 12 years. And at a 12%, it's doubling every 6 years. So if you took an example of, let's just say $10,000 in each one of those accounts, okay? So $10,000, let's say you have children, right? So let's say you started for your children, right? And for each one of your kids, you put 10,000 in 3% vehicle, 10,000 in 6% vehicle, and 10,000 in 12% vehicle. The child that had the 3% vehicle, right, that money's going to double one time when they turn 24. They graduate. Here you go. Here's a portfolio, $20,000. That money double one time. If you don't touch it again by 48, that's going to be 40,000. Okay. Child one is like, okay, 20 grand. How many people would love to start life with $20,000, right? You know what I'm saying? Let's start life. But the second child had a 6% vehicle. That money was doubling every 12 years. So now, at 24, that child has 40,000. Your firstborn looking at you like, how they get 40,000? Dad, like, what'd you do? Hey, I learned something about putting more money away. At
My children would look at me and say that, though, for real.
Right. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't touch that money, it'll continue to work for you, right? You're looking at 160,000 in 48 years, just from a $10,000 investment that you let ride. And then look at a 12% interest rate. 12, your money's doubling every 6 years. Every 6 years, that money's doubling. So now that third child at age 24 has $160,000 at age 24 to start life with. Let's say, hey, they got the good job. They don't need to touch it. By age 42, that's $1.2 million in an investment account that you started at age 10. At age 0.
Wow.
$10,000.
So that means my son Trajan would be the richest out of all of my children.
Out of all of them.
Trajan would be, oh my good, Trajan, I hope if you watching this, man, I'm getting ready to make you a ton of money. No offense, Eric and Dre, I apologize. But Trajan, I'm getting ready to make you a whole lot of money, my friend.
But check this out. Here's the other side of that coin. Remember, it's called the banker's rule.
The banker's rule.
The problem is that banks are not giving you 3%, 6%, and 12% interest rates on your money. but they are
Wow.
lending you money at 3% for a car loan, 6% for a personal line of credit, 12% for a credit card. Miss a payment, it goes to 29.9%. So therefore, what? Your balances are doubling. That's why when you look at your statements, it always shows you what you took out and then what you're gonna pay in interest. Guess who making the interest? The bank, right? But you take your money and you put it in the bank, and the bank's giving you 1% or less, and anything less than 1 is 0, correct?
Right.
So 1 divided by 72 is gonna take 72 years for your money to double one time in the bank. You ever notice when you get your savings statement and they show you them pennies that you got on your money, right? Your money will never double in your lifetime in a bank. Right?
Wow.
You've got to have your money working for you in the global economy. We're going to talk about that with the stock market and things of that nature, so that your money can now go to work for you instead of you working for the money for the rest of your life.
So now we're talking about money becoming a tool.
Yes, sir.
And that's very important. Do me a favor. Make sure that you stay locked where you got it. When we come back, we're going to talk about the money being a tool. I got the money man right here. He ain't going nowhere. Sit tight. Go get the baby something to drink. We'll be back. It's the Pulse of the People. We are back. Thanks again for watching the Pulse of the People. I'm with the money man. I'm telling you, I'm so excited, man. I'm ready to go get 10 grand and give it to him and tell him to flip it for me. I remember back in the day, I used to do that and take people the money and give them something and flip it for them. Yeah, but that's a whole nother story. Listen, I'm excited. I'm excited about today. We're talking about money and how money is important. In this segment, we're going to talk about how money is a tool. And then Mr. James is going to really break down what he can do or what he does to help people to use the tools in the toolbox.
Right.
If money's the tool and he's a contractor, he going to show you how to work what you got. You saying, man, I got to have 10,000, 5,000, a million thousand to do whatever to get in, to be able to have a conversation with Mr. James. I think he get ready to tell you, you really don't have to have a whole lot of what you think you got to have. All you got to do is be willing and consistent.
That's right.
And I think once you handle that, but he gonna let us know about that. So
Yes.
let's talk about the tool
Yes.
we call money.
That's right. That's right.
Money being a tool.
Money being a tool. So ultimately, you said a mouthful right there. One of the biggest misconceptions that people have is when it comes to professional information and professional consultation, they say, I don't have enough money to meet with a financial advisor. One of the biggest things, that's why I call myself a money coach, not a financial advisor, because when people hear financial advisor, they run. Because the first thing that they say out their mouth is, I don't have no money, which is a lie. Because again, it doesn't matter if you make $5 a week or $5 million a week. If you have $5, you made money. You have money. See, the thing is that that's the tool to help you get things. But what we do is, most people have their money and their money controls them. The money controls the people. But understand that when that tool's in your pocket, right? Let's just say a carpenter, when they have their tool belt on, they got their hammer, their nails, all that type of stuff that they have on their belt, they grab what they need. The hammer don't just jump out when they need a drill. You understand what I'm saying? The hammer don't say, I'm gonna do this job. No. The contractor say, hey, I need the hammer to do this nail. I need this drill to drill this hole. The thing is that what we allow the money to control us. You know what? Hey, I can afford that sweater. I can afford those $200 shoes. Come on. Spend me on that. Spend me. And so we reach in our pocket and say, hey, you know what? We can do that. And we go and we spend the money and we use it in the manner of what? Not getting better, but to feel good for that moment. Think about it. One of the biggest things, especially the young people, right? I get on them about the tennis shoes, all right? Now, tennis shoes can cost, for me, I spend about $60 on some shoes, maybe $100 on some dress shoes. But when you're spending $200 every time a shoe drops, that's not benefiting you. You understand what I'm saying? That's not putting your money to work for you. See, in order for to be a tool, it needs to work for you. When you're buying it on shoes and clothes, it's not working for you. You understand that? And so ultimately, when you talk about my money, it needs to build a house, right? We talk about your financial house. How can this money build a house? And what we do is we talk about the foundation of money, the tool, which meaning income protection. Let's start about the ground foundation of all financial plans. Start with income protection. Understand this. Most people's biggest asset is the ability to earn income, right? But if I pass away, right, where's my income? It's gone. It disappeared, right? And so it happens multiple times. You see the GoFundMe accounts, you see the food, the bake sales,
Lord,
the
I'm
fish
tired
fries,
of it.
right?
I'm tired of it.
Right? Because why? Because we didn't want to take $30, $40, $50 to make sure that if I pass away, my family's life can stay the same or greater. You understand that?
Wow.
You understand that? Because it's not about life. See, I tell you all the time, people say, oh, I got life insurance. Life insurance puts you in the ground. Income protection makes sure your family's straight. Making sure that the food gonna be on the table, the light's gonna stay on. I can stay here. I don't have to go and live with my sister and my aunt and lose the house. You understand what I'm saying? See, auto insurance, you wreck your car, you get a new car. Homeowners insurance, house burned down, somebody break, they can replenish that stuff. Life insurance, if you die, I can't bring you back to life.
Wow.
But with income protection and income insurance, I can now bring that income back in that household. You see what I'm saying? So all financial plans, that's the first tool that we put in place to make sure we have a better chance of dying today, Bishop, than retiring today. So if I don't make it home, if you don't make it home, is the lifestyle going to be the same or greater? See?
So I want to pause there because that is one of the biggest misconceptions of the black community is that we plan for life, but we don't plan for death.
Correct.
We plan to go to the prom. We plan for weddings. We plan for everything except for a funeral. And I'm talking about from the standpoint of the financial piece of a funeral. Right. I promise you, if I have to pass another bucket, if I have to ask as a pastor I need some people to sow for this family, or if I see another GoFundMe page or a fish fry, or I may be offensive when I say this, another party at my place, Lord have mercy, I'm going to scream because at the end of the day, especially if you know the lifestyle that someone is living, then why not? And those are some of the questions I had even with some of our young brothers who passed away, some of these young rappers. If you live in that lifestyle, I pray you didn't take your advance and brought a house and a couple cars and a bunch of jewelry around your neck, but I'm hoping that your mother didn't have to hock your jewelry to put you in the ground. Lord have mercy.
Come on, that's right.
And so I think that that's the biggest misconception. The Bible talks about leaving an inheritance for your children's children.
That's right.
And so I think that that's a big whammy for our community because I don't think we can really celebrate life if the life that's been left or the life that's been lost is not one worth celebrating, if we have to carry not only this life into the ground but carry the finances.
That's right. That's right. It's very true. One of the biggest things that you hear a lot of times is that other races leave a will. Black people leave a bill. You understand what I'm saying? We leave behind, instead of saying, hey, here's what I left you. Here's this bill that you're gonna have to now not just figure out the way, but now figure out the money. And that's one of the biggest stresses. I've paid literally over 10 death claims since I've been in this business. My first 5 were to African American males 30 and under. Okay.
Wow.
You understand that? That's real. You understand? But the thing is that that's still just a drop in that. There's still so many more people that are out here, like you said, and they're doing the wrong things with their money because of the thing of I can't afford it, and that's not true. You can afford it, but because you've not inquired about it and not been educated on it, we say, well, that's not gonna work for me. But again, just like you said, you had an epiphany when you were buying the bottles, right? And then you realize $400 for this Hennessy, that's only $40, $50 here. That markup is ridiculous. But when the light bulb goes off, hey, okay, why am I still doing this? There's a difference between being ignorant and stupid, okay?
Wow.
Ignorance is making a decision and not having all the facts, right? Stupid is knowing all the facts and still making the wrong decision. See, before I got educated on money, I was ignorant to money. I didn't know the rule of 72. I didn't know the difference between whole life and term life insurance. Didn't know about debt and how to get out. I was ignorant to money. But after I learned those things, if I continue down that path of blowing my money and doing the wrong things, now I'm just being stupid, right?
Wow.
That's the thing that we talk about when we talk about the tools. Are you using your tools to benefit you, to grow something, to build something, to build an empire? We talk about all the time. I'm building I'm getting the bag. But are you securing your bag?
Wow. Now speak to that, because a lot of young people watch the Pulse of People, and thank you for watching it. Tell a friend, tell everybody. But there are a lot of young people who watch our show. And so speak to that piece.
Right.
Speak to that piece
Right.
about the bag. When they talk about the bag, they talk about getting a temporary bag. But I want you to give them something before we go to our last break. I want you to give them something that's going to help them to continue to see what is called residual income.
Right, correct. And so what I talk about that when we talk about securing the bag, right? People will say, oh, I'm getting the bag, getting the bag, getting the bag. But again, like I told you in the first segment, when I said it's not what you make, it's what you keep. The thing is now how do I secure the bag? I secure the bag by now investing my money. I'm taking my money and I'm now putting it to work for me. I'm investing in mutual funds and things of that nature, or the stock market. I know a lot of times we talk about that and people say, well, I don't understand it. But that's why you have a coach that's going to show you and hold your hand and say, let me walk you down this path so you can now have a better understanding of how your money's working for you. If you know better, you can do better. It's just like with your driver's license. Before you got in that car, you didn't know what to do. Tell a driver's ed instructor or whoever taught you how to drive the car. It's the same thing with money. Somebody needs to teach you the rules and how to make this money work for you. And you can invest through different vehicles like your 401k. How many people out here have jobs but they're not contributing because they say, I can't afford that. I need all my money. No, no, no. You don't need all your money. You want all your money because you want stuff right now. Wow. You've got to secure this bag. You've got to put money away. I tell people all the time, I sell money for later distribution. If you die too soon, I'm going to bring a check. If you live too long, I'm still going to bring a check. You understand
Wow.
that? That's securing the bag. See, when there are literally 4 ways of earning income. You have an employee, right? That's the cash flow quadrant. Employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. Most of us are all in the employee side. So therefore, our money is coming from us working or self-employed, which means when you're self-employed, 100% of your income comes from you. So if you get sick, you get, clients stop coming in, whatever it is, you look at your barbers, your hairstyle, like, understand, if you're not securing the bag and putting away money, when something like a COVID happens, guess what? The bag's
stuck.
gone. You're stuck. I have nothing coming in. I don't have any assistance. Or I'm waiting on the assistance to come in because I don't even know what that process is like, right? Because I've never applied for it before. Think about the hairstylists and the barbers that have always been getting the money, and because it's a cash business, right? It's always coming in. We always gonna look good. You know what I mean? Even in tough times,
Right, we
people,
gonna look good.
People was hurting at their nails. They needed a filling. I know people that was like, oh, I need a filling. They couldn't wait to go and spend that money. You understand? But if you don't have a way of now applying for those types of benefits and all, you don't know, you're lost for a while. You understand?
Right.
So you got to secure the bag and set up different accounts. Like I said, the emergency accounts, the 401ks, the IRAs. Get that stuff in. And then one of the biggest things that I know we're going to talk, the college planning. 529 plans. One of the biggest things that we do is we tell kids to go to school, get good grades so you can go to college and get the good job, right? But the fact is, as parents, we don't secure the bag for the children. We say, hey, go to college and take out these loans and get in debt. So now you walk off a stage into a pool of student loan debt. $100,000. Isn't it crazy how you can get $100,000, $200,000 for education, but you can't qualify for a mortgage while you in college?
Wow.
But we not gonna. But understand the tools that you need to have this money grow for you, so that you can have residual income. Because once you have that money set, see, retirement is not an age; it's a number, Bishop. It's a number. People say, "Oh, I'm going to retire at 65." Oh, are you? Do you have enough money to retire? Because you've seen it. You've gone to the banquets. You've gone to the retirement celebration on that Friday at the DoubleTree or wherever it is, and we celebrate Auntie. And then next thing you know, on Monday, you like, where you going at? Oh, I got to go back to work. This ain't enough money. I can't retire with this. That's not retirement.
She going to hand out stickers at Walmart.
She going to do something else.
A part-time
right?
job.
Yeah, because I got to keep busy. No, you need that money. You understand? Because you did not put away enough to what? Secure the bag so it can pay you for the rest of your life.
Money is a tool. I believe as we go into this last break and coming back, Mr. James, he's going to give you all the information that you need in order to make him your money coach. I believe Cardi B said it something like this: I ain't got to dance, I make money moves. What she was saying is she didn't have to nickel and dime for them dollars shaking her tail all night. Now she's making money moves where she's securing a bag, and it's residual. For all you music heads, check out what her last album did. She got residual income coming the rest of her life. She ain't got to dance no more. She making money moves. I'm talking to the money man. We're going to be back. Go get yourself something to drink. I hope your pad is full up with all this knowledge. But don't worry, he going to come back another time and really break down that rule of 72. I like the way that sounds. Come on back. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back to close it out with the money man. We helping you secure. Listen, we're back. Thank you for hanging out with us. We are the pulse of the people. We are bringing what we believe is pertinent and germane to our community, to you, and we're making it convenient for you. But here it is. At the end of the time of it being convenient, we want you to get up and do something. We don't want you to just watch this on our Facebook and watch it on our Instagram and subscribe or follow it on YouTube. We want you to get up and do something. You getting all this for this last hour. You've been getting all this, as the young people say, all these jewels. Now we want you to do something with them. I'm sitting with the money man.
That's right. That's right.
And listen, he's just the money man because he's sitting here. This is my guy. See, you got to have people in your phone Rolodex and that you connected to that's a little versed in everything. I know for a fact if a plumber died, he's not gonna call another plumber. He's gonna call a preacher. And so if my toilet broke, I'm not gonna fix it myself. I'm gonna call a plumber. My money messed up, I'm calling the money guy. See what I'm saying? You gotta have who's in your phone, but that's a whole nother story. How many resources do you have in your phone? Are you a resource broker? That's a whole nother story. But listen, so we're gonna finish strong. We've been talking about money preservation. We've been talking about how money is a tool. We've been talking about how important money is even in our community and how we need to be educated in the importance of it. Ms. James, I want you to take what the time that's left we have today. I want you to take the opportunity to really let people know how they can get in touch with you. What are some of, I want you to really dispel any myths. Someone went, I don't have no money.
Right.
Bishop, Mr. James, I want a bag, but I ain't got no money. I want you to dispel any misconceptions or any rumors that they may think about money coaches or anything like that. And then I want you to drop all your information so we can put it on the bottom of the screen. And then that's what I want you to do is I want you to activate your money literacy. You don't have to read 101 books. All you got to do is make a phone call, and he'll come and he will walk you through the process. Talk to us about the services you offer, how people can make you their money coach.
Got you. I want to thank you again, you know what I'm saying, Bishop, for extending the platform to allow me to share with the pulse of the people. One of the biggest things that you said before is that when we talk about, activating your plan, knowledge is not power. We've been taught for years that knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. You could go and read every single book in the library, but unless you apply the knowledge,
that's it.
Now you have the power, because now you're applying it to your situation. You understand what I'm saying? So knowledge is power. So how to get in contact with me? Literally, I sit down with people. One of the biggest things that I tell people, my consultations are complimentary, okay? Complimentary. Nothing out of your pocket. They're complimentary and customized to you, all right? And they're confidential. And so that's the biggest thing I tell people all the time. Seek me out so that you can get your plan done to see how you can implement a plan. Because people will say, well, I don't have this, I don't have that. Life and death lie in the tongue. Stop speaking that you don't have over your finances. You understand what I'm saying? If you speak it, it'll come. You understand? Speak what you seek until you see what you speak. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
And so understand that when you look at reaching out to me, we'll sit down, we'll do a consultation, and you can start a plan with as little as $50 a month.
Did you hear what he just said? $50 a month.
And so there's no reason to
You spend
say,
that at 7-Eleven.
Chick-fil-A all day
Chick-fil-A.
long. You know
But,
what I mean?
I know my kids do.
Right, and me too. You know what I mean? So understanding that, and again, it's saying, hey, I'm going to start somewhere. You've got to take one step, right? You understand? I always say one plants, one waters, the increase comes from God, right? But if you don't put any seed in the ground, you can't expect a harvest 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the road. You understand what I'm saying? So your money is the seed, the tool, and all that type of stuff. So literally, reach out to me. I'm on social media, on Instagram at Henson Associates, and on Facebook, Henson Associates. You can also reach my business line at 202-888-4346. Okay, so hit me up. Get in touch with me. I'm excited to share this information. I'm passionate about this. This is my gift to the people. I love sharing. And again, I thank you so much for the privilege to sit down with people and say, hey, now we know. Because the thing is, you can't say, hey, I ain't know nothing about it, right? I didn't know. That's one of the biggest things that I don't like when people say, oh, well, I didn't know that, right? But we have all this knowledge that's out here, that's around us. We can go on YouTube and look up how to, well, y'all know, I just said twerk and all that other stuff.
Right.
We learn these TikToks and the dances and all that. So there are plenty of financial YouTubes and all that stuff. So we got to get out of the mentality of, oh, I don't know, right? Because, hey, listen, guess what? I don't know about tennis shoe drops, but if I did want to get a tennis, I know where to go, to who I need to call to say, hey, when that tennis shoe gonna drop, right? Seek and you shall find.
Wow.
Right?
Listen, I really hope and pray that you have taken in all this information. And everything he just said, it's 15 different things came to mind. But the one thing that came to mind was the Bible says, now unto him that's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or think. The part that you need to catch is, you can think it, you can whatever, you can have faith about it, but it says this, according to the power that worketh in you. It's on you what you're going to do. The Bible speaks about, even when you talk about investment, the Bible, for those who are watching me who say, this ain't biblical. Yes, it is. I just gave you one. Here's another one which talks about the talents.
Come
That's
on
called
now.
investment.
That's right.
So it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. Why did Jesus turn the table over? Because of what was going on in the temple, but it had to do with money.
Right.
When Jesus said, render unto Caesar that which has something to do with money. But let me mess with your theology as we close today. When your pastor gets up and says, give and it shall be given, pressed down, shaken together, that has nothing to do with money. Read the rest of it. It has something to do with how you treat other people. Read the text and understand. Listen, I didn't want to be the bishop there, but I'm always the bishop. It is your boy, the bishop. This is the pulse of the people. We'll see you next time. Honey, I'm on my way home. I holler at y'all. Peace.